Welcome to the FM Scout YouTube channel. If we've not met before, my name is Llama, and in today's video we're going to be trying to inspire your next football manager adventure by examining the clubs from the same city that you could take charge of in FM22. But before we get into the video, why don't you join the tens of thousands of people that have already subscribed to the FM Scout YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that you get updates each time FM Scout release a new video. And if you are looking for Save Ideas videos, well, there's a link down in the video description below to my own YouTube channel where you will find a series introducing each of the different countries that you can manage in Football Manager, as well as a series dedicated to FM22 Save Ideas. But without further ado, let's check out the city we're investigating today. In search of the perfect save idea, we're heading to Belgium and to Brussels, the capital of the country and the heart of the EU. Brussels is a city that spans Belgium's French and Dutch-speaking communities and is home to 1.2 million people, as well as 3 historic football clubs. Belgium is one of the most popular nations amongst Football Manager players, but which club will you take charge of in your next Belgian adventure? Well, how about heading to the capital, Brussels, where there are 3 playable teams in Football Manager that you could take charge of, and they're all near neighbours as well, hailing from the Anderlecht area of the city, the Saint-Gilloise area of the city, and slightly further north, the Molenbeek area of the city as well. That gives us 3 clubs that we could potentially manage from Brussels in Football Manager, but which one would be right for you? Let's start by having a look at Belgium's most successful club. Anderlecht are coached by former player Vincent Kompany and have over 100 years of successful history. Anderlecht are a club that has won multiple continental honours and leads Belgium in terms of league titles won, but they are currently experiencing somewhat of a malaise. That is, of course, until you take over as coach and return the club to glory. So might Anderlecht be the scene for your next Football Manager adventure? The Mauves play at the 21,500 capacity Lotto Park, and if you're looking for a club that could help you develop your own players, well, Anderlecht may well fit the bill. They've got superb training facilities, excellent youth facilities, excellent academy coaching, and exceptional youth recruitment as well. And this is a club that's helped develop the likes of Romelu Lukaku and Yuri Tielemans over recent years, as well as fellow internationals such as Dendoncker, Doku, and Salamakers, to name but a few. We look into their trophy cabinet, we'll see that this is a club that have experienced success not just domestically, but in Europe as well. They've won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup twice during the 1970s, beating West Ham in 1976 and Austria Vienna in 1978. And they've also won the UEFA Cup as well. In 1983, they beat Benfica from Portugal. They've also lost out in European finals as well, have never quite managed to win the European Cup or the Champions League. That would be your challenge if you were to take charge of this Anderlecht side, but they've won the Belgian top division on 34 occasions. Only 9 cup wins though, but certainly this is a club that could help you hunt down silverware. Maybe we should check out the finances that you'd have you take over at Anderlecht. Whilst the facilities of Anderlecht are great and the history of the club is grand, the finances, I'm afraid, are not quite so strong. You've got just under £3.5 million to spend on transfers and just over £440,000 per week to spend on wages assembling your squad. There would be work to do to turn Belgium's most successful club back into the title winners, as we're closing in on a decade now, and Anderlecht have only won the title once during that time. Making them a force in Europe would be another challenge altogether, and maybe that's the kind of challenge you're looking for. But there is another top flight side in Brussels that you could take charge of that are newly promoted this season and doing incredibly well in real life. USG are one of the oldest clubs in Belgium, and during the early part of their history, they were also one of the country's most successful. However, the club recently spent 48 years away from the top flight since relegation in 1963. New ownership has coincided with a return to the top flight and an unlikely push for the title in their first season back at this level. Welcome to Union, or USG, Anderlecht's historic rivals, a club that were one of the most successful in Belgium until the 1930s and were still a top flight side until the 1960s, but they've gradually worked their way down Belgium's pyramid and have recently fought their way back, getting promotion from the second tier last season back to the top flight, and they're having a remarkable season in real life. The upturn in their fortunes has coincided with the takeover of the club by Brighton and Hove Albion owner Tony Bloom, who's helped pump money into the club. He's improved their facilities a little bit, although they are not as grand as Anderlecht's, with average training facilities, average youth facilities, adequate academy coaching, and adequate youth recruitment as well. You'll see that their ground is not quite as large as Anderlecht's. They play at an 8,000 capacity stadium that's probably in need of some modernisation, as is their trophy cabinet, because the trophies that they've won are quite far back in their history. They won the Belgian Cup 2 times back-to-back in 1913 and 1914, and alongside going deep in European competitions that were the forerunners to the European Cup and the UEFA Cup, they've won the Belgian title 11 times between 1904 and 1935. Clearly, this is a club with a grand history, but it's a long time since they've lifted silverware. Let's check out whether you might have the finances to try and turn Union into the top team in Belgium once more. As you can see, finances at this club would be more challenging. Anderlecht had a transfer budget of over 3 million. At Union, you'd have just 18,000. And in terms of a wage budget, you'd have £114,000 a week to spend crafting your squad. Clearly, creating a title-winning side with this club would be a great challenge compared to Anderlecht, but there's another club in Brussels for whom the challenge would be even greater, because you'd be starting out in the second tier. Like many clubs in Belgium, RWDM have experienced financial problems that led to bankruptcy, with fans reforming the club in 2015. But the history of football in Molenbeek goes far further back than this, with RWDM having won the Belgium League and competed in European competition. Our final Brussels club is RWDM, or Racing White Daring Molenbeek, a club that went bankrupt in 2002, but supporters reformed it in 2015, and it's made its way through Belgium's lower divisions and is now back in the second tier. They play at a stadium that holds just under 12,500 fans, and their facilities are not too bad for a club at this level, with good training facilities, average youth facilities, good academy coaching, and adequate youth recruitment as well. And this is a club that's played a role in the development of players such as Adnan Januzaj and Michi Batshuayi as well. In terms of their history, well, Football Manager has none listed, as this is the RWDM that was only reformed in 2015, but the previous iteration of RWDM were champions of Belgium in 1975, and in 1977 lost in the semi-finals of the UEFA Cup to Athletic Bilbao from Spain. This is a club that could well be on the up. They have new investors who are also part owners of Crystal Palace and Brazilian side Botafogo, so taking charge of this club might be an adventure for you, where you could return them to the top flight and win them another league campaign. Let's check out what the finances of this great club are like. So clearly this is the most challenging of the 3 options that we've shown you. A transfer budget of under £3,000 and a wage budget of just £47,000 a week. Clearly, turning RWDM back into a top flight side is going to involve shipping some players out before you can start rebuilding the squad. But what an adventure this could be to take one of the most historic clubs from Brussels back into the top division and try and secure the title for them once more against their more illustrious city neighbours. So there's 3 save ideas, all from the same city. We'll be looking at another city in a future Scout video to try and inspire your next Football Manager adventure. Don't forget to subscribe to the FM Scout YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you very soon for some more FM Scout videos.